Brian, stay
Sorry.
on with us. More breaking news coming in at this point of time, where US President-elect Donald Trump has in fact spoken, and he's given out a statement as far as the announcement of Justin Trudeau is concerned. He said that, his stance in Canada to become the 51st state of the US is, of course, the jibe that he's taken. Listen in. In the post he shared on social media, he has said that Trudeau resigned as he knew that US can no longer suffer the massive trade deficit and the subsidies that Canada requires to stay afloat. Brian on the telecast with me. Brian, take our viewers through what it is that Donald Trump has said. He's, of course, taken the 51st state jibe yet again.
Savi, definitely, U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has seized the opportunity now presented by Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's announcement of his resignation to reiterate his controversial proposal for Canada to become the 51st state of the United States, and even talking to the platform also that is Truth Social. He claimed that Trudeau's resignation was a proof that Canada is struggling economically and politically, aiding that merging with the US would resolve its challenges. Now, even very importantly, he also wrote that many people in Canada love being the 51st state, and the US can no longer suffer the massive trade deficits and subsidize that Canada needs to stay afloat. And even Trump wrote that Justin knew this and he resigned. And even he further argued that under US governance, Canada would see reduced tariffs, lower taxes, and increased national security against external threats from Russia and China. And his remarks also reignited controversy over his long held stance on closer US Canada integration. And in his post, also, he very importantly suggested that Canada's inclusion as a US state would eliminate trade imbalances and offer Canadians a better security, and says that if Canada would emerge with the US, there would be no tariffs, taxes would go away down, and they would be totally secure from the threat of the Russian and China ships that are constantly surrounding them. And together, what a great nation would it be? Trump, said, and even this very statement drew mixed reactions from Canadian politics analysts and citizens alike, many of whom view the proposal as undermining Canada's sovereignty and independent identity as well. Meanwhile, Trudeau has, definitely announced his, plan to resign, and then now his successor will also be elected, which again is going to be a tedious and a long process. But yes, the U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has made his stance clear as well after his resignation has been done. Savi.
Absolutely, Brian, stay on with us. In fact, joining us at this point of time is Professor Madhav Nalapad. He is the editorial director of the Sunday Guardian. So thank you so much for speaking to us this morning. Now, of course, Justin Trudeau stepping down, was that inevitable? Of course, the Globe and Mail had, an inkling towards this happening. But what exactly has led him to do this in your assessment?
Well, the fact is that he's lost the confidence of the majority of the members of parliament in his own party. And the reason for that has been, frankly, a very whimsical way of functioning. And I think he became overconfident and, frankly, he became reckless. And as a consequence, in his own party, the people are deserted him. And very importantly, if I may say so, he has tarnished his legacy in history by siding with people who are facilitators of terror. And these very individuals, they dumped him. As soon as they found that he was not popular, as soon as they found that he was becoming a political liability to his own party and to them, they completely dumped him. So these were fair weather friends. They were only interested in ensuring that Trudeau act as a battering ram in the Western world against India, specifically against Prime Minister Modi. And Trudeau worked very hard at that mission. He made all kinds of absurd allegations. He tried to damage India's standing in the Western world. And he tried very hard, even, I'm told, privately, to get sanctions on India and on certain Indian leaders. So the reality of the situation is he has lost the confidence not only of Parliament as a whole, but of the majority of members of his own party. Now, Christoph Freeland, the quitting, was a sign of that. Because, as I mentioned at that point in time, it was very clear that she was aiming at the top job. So the reality of the situation is that Trudeau quit before he was forced out.
Absolutely. And at the same time, I'd also like to understand from you, Trump's victory and his comments. Has anything, got to do with Trump's resignation? Sorry, I beg your pardon, Trudeau's resignation.
Well, the fact of the matter is that Trudeau has been flirting with all kinds of elements. And as far as Trump is concerned, there's no love lost between him and Trudeau. You will recall that when Trudeau came to Mar-a-Lago and tried to make up with Trump, Trump posed for photographs with him, but did not invite him to dinner. Almost every guest who has come to Mar-a-Lago, irrespective of rank or status, has basically had dinner and stayed the night there. Trudeau was not invited to stay the night. I don't think he was invited. He was invited, and that's a very telling sign that Trump had no respect for him. The fact that he was not invited to stay the night at Mar-a-Lago, we had to go back to his hotel. So I would like to say that it's been a very bumpy ride for Trudeau to navigate once Trump has taken office on the 20th of January, because Trump is a much more independent-minded person. Trudeau, unfortunately, has been very pro-China and very pro the extremist groups that have been patronized by China. So Trump, on the other hand, is a very independent-minded, proud American, and he has utter contempt for Trudeau. He has expressed that contempt multiple times, and I think that was part of the reason why the majority in his own party felt that in the interest of good relations in Canada and the United States, not to mention Canada and India, it is important that he quit.
Right, so absolutely. I'd also like to, in fact, understand from you, of course, Justin Trudeau said that he's going to be